Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that everything in your life is exactly the same, but your mindset completely changed. Nothing around you has shifted. Not your job, not your bank account, not the people you know. But suddenly you see the world differently. That's what we're talking about when we say winner's mindset. It's not about luck. It's not about being born in the right family. It's not about having millions already stacked. It's about how you think, how you see yourself, how you attack every single day. Most people don't lose because they don't have the talent. They lose because their head is set up the wrong way. They keep telling themselves the same old story. I can't, I don't deserve, maybe someday. That's a loser's loop, and once you're stuck in it, life just feels like the same boring rerun. But when you break out and adopt the mindset of a winner, suddenly opportunities that were always there start showing up. They were hidden in plain sight, but now your brain is trained to see them. Think about the difference between two people with the same skill set. One person walks into a room and immediately thinks, I don't belong here, they're better than me. I shouldn't even try. The other person walks into the same room. Same skills, same background, but in their head they're thinking, I'm gonna learn something today, I'm gonna make a move. I belong here as much as anybody else. That second person isn't smarter or richer. The only difference is mindset. And guess who's walking out of that room with a new connection, a new deal, or a new shot at success? That's the winner. Not because of luck, but because they chose to see the situation differently. Now, here's the real kicker. Most people wait for motivation to show up. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or someone to give them permission. Winners don't wait. Winners act even when they don't feel ready. They understand that clarity comes from action, not the other way around. If you sit around waiting until you feel like doing something, you're gonna stay stuck. Winners wake up and say, I don't feel like it, but I'm still doing it. That's the power move. Because once you act, your brain catches up. The momentum kicks in, and suddenly you're 10 steps ahead while everyone else is still scrolling on their phone wondering why their life doesn't change. Let's be real. The world doesn't reward people for almost trying. It rewards people who step into the arena and take the hits. That's why winners think differently about failure. They don't see failure as the end. They see it as data, as feedback, as a stepping stone. Most people are so terrified of failing that they don't even move. They would rather sit in the comfort zone, safe but stuck. Winners flip the script. They think, if I fail, I learn. If I win, I grow. Either way, I level up. That's unstoppable thinking. That's why they look fearless. Not because they don't feel fear, but because they refuse to let fear dictate their decisions. Fear whispers, what if it goes wrong? The winner answers, what if it goes right? That one switch in thinking opens up an entire new world of possibilities. And here's something most people overlook. Winners aren't obsessed with being perfect. They're obsessed with progress. They understand that perfection is just procrastination in disguise. If you wait until everything is lined up perfectly, you're never gonna start. Winners say, I'll start messy, I'll adjust along the way, I'll improve as I go. That's why they get further faster. While everyone else is waiting for step 100 to look clear, the winner is already on step 20, learning, adapting, moving. That's the mindset difference that separates the top from the bottom. So let's break it down even further. The winner's mindset is not some magic switch you flip once, and suddenly your life becomes a movie. It's a daily practice, a grind, something you train like a muscle. Just like hitting the gym, the more you train your mind, the stronger it gets. Most people don't fail in life because of outside forces. They fail because they let their inner voice talk them out of the game. That little voice that says, nah, skip today, you're too tired. You don't have what it takes. Someone else will do it better. Winners hear that voice too. But here's the difference. They don't give it the steering wheel. They acknowledge it, but they still press forward. That's what creates separation. Not talent, not luck, not connections. The separation comes from how many times you're willing to show up when every part of you wants to quit. Think about athletes, fighters, or entrepreneurs that you admire. The ones at the top didn't get there by accident. Behind every win you see, there are hundreds of silent losses, sleepless nights, failed attempts, and doubts that no one claps for. The winner's mindset isn't about avoiding that, it's about embracing it. They understand that discomfort is where growth happens. When it feels heavy, when it feels overwhelming, that's the moment you're building the edge. Losers run from that feeling, winners chase it. They think, this pressure is proof I'm leveling up. That mental frame is what keeps them moving forward while others fold under the same weight. And here's another key. Winners protect their energy. They know that environment is everything. If you're surrounded by people who complain all the time, who blame the world, who never take responsibility, guess what? You're gonna start mirroring that. The winner's mindset says, I can't afford that. They cut out toxic circles. They spend less time in rooms that drain them and more time in places that challenge them. It's not about being rude, it's about survival. You can't build a winner's life with a loser's crowd. Winners choose to hang around people who inspire, who push them, who demand better. Because your environment either feeds your mindset or poisons it. And mindset is too valuable to waste. Now let's talk about vision. Winners think long term. They don't just play for today's dopamine hit. They're patient. They understand that planting seeds today means harvest later. Most people want instant results. They want the body after one workout, the money after one investment, the success after one attempt. Winners know it doesn't work like that. They play the long game. They put in the work consistently, knowing that small actions compound into massive results. That's why when you look at a winner years later, it seems like they blew up overnight. But the truth is, they've been grinding quietly, building, stacking small wins until it couldn't be ignored anymore. That's the patience and consistency of a real winner's mindset. Here's the part that hits hardest. Winners don't waste time comparing themselves to others. The loser mindset is obsessed with competition, with checking who's ahead, who's got more, who's living better. Winners understand that comparison is a trap. They don't play someone else's game. They stay locked in on their own lane. They know their time will come if they keep their head down and work. That's why they seem unbothered, why they seem focused, almost untouchable. They're not distracted by who's winning right now. They're focused on being the last one standing. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being first today. It's about still being in the game tomorrow. And only a strong mindset keeps you in long enough to get there. Now let's get into the mindset shift that really separates winners from the crowd. Winners are obsessed with responsibility. They never sit around pointing fingers at life, blaming the economy, their family, or the system. They know one thing: nobody's coming to save them. That thought alone might sound scary at first, but for a winner, it's empowering. Because if no one's coming, then it's all on you. And if it's on you, that means you hold the power. Most people give away their power the moment something goes wrong. They look for excuses, for someone to blame, for a reason to stop trying. Winners don't do that. They say, it's my fault, it's my move, it's my outcome. That simple mindset, radical ownership, makes them unstoppable. Because if you're responsible for everything, then you can change anything. Think about it. Life is gonna hit you either way. Pain is unavoidable. You can't dodge it. But here's the question. Are you gonna suffer with no progress, or are you gonna suffer and build something out of it? Winners choose the second. They accept the pain but squeeze growth out of it. A loser feels pain and says, why me? A winner feels pain and says, try me. That's the switch. That's what gives them that edge where nothing seems to break them. People see winners and think they're lucky or gifted, but what they're really seeing is someone who decided not to quit when life got hard. That's all it is. Refusing to quit when it would have been easier to fold. Another key factor is how winners view time. They treat it like currency. Every minute counts. They understand that wasted time compounds just like money invested does. Losers treat time like it's endless, like they've got forever. They'll scroll for hours, binge nonsense, gossip about things that don't move the needle. Winners think differently. They're asking themselves, what's the return on this hour? They invest their time in skills and building and moving forward. They cut out distractions ruthlessly. That's why sometimes winners look boring from the outside. While everyone else is chasing fun 24/7, winners are building foundations. And then years later, those same people are wondering how the winner got so far ahead. The answer is simple. They didn't waste their time. Let's talk about resilience. Winners know life isn't about never falling down. It's about how fast you get back up. Most people take one hit and they stay down for months, sometimes years. Winners get knocked down and stand up faster than they fell. That bounce back ability comes from mindset. It's trained. They tell themselves, yeah, I failed, but I'm not finished. That phrase alone keeps them moving. Every setback becomes part of the comeback. And here's the truth, winners actually expect obstacles. They're not shocked when things get tough. They're prepared. That's why they don't fall apart when things don't go as planned. They've already accepted that struggle is part of the process, so they don't waste energy fighting it. They use that energy to adapt, to find solutions, to keep going. And here's the last point for this part. Winners build inner confidence, not fake confidence. They don't need to scream or brag about how great they are. Their confidence comes from proof, from keeping promises to themselves, from doing the work when nobody's watching. That's why their confidence is quiet but unshakable. You can't take it from them because they earned it. Most people fake confidence to look strong on the outside while they're crumbling on the inside. Winners flip it. They build it from within, and it shows without them even saying a word. That's the type of energy that attracts success, respect, and opportunities. It's not loud, it's not desperate. It's grounded, steady, and real. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The winner's mindset is available to anyone, but only a few choose it. It's not about talent, genetics, or luck, it's about decisions. Every single day you get the choice to think like a winner or like a loser. And the scary part? Nobody can make that choice for you. You can have the best mentor, the best opportunities, even the biggest potential, and still waste it if your mindset is weak. On the other hand, someone with average talent but an unshakable mindset can rise from nothing and build everything. That's the secret people don't want to admit. It's not about what you have, it's about how you think. Winners know this, and that's why they guard their mindset like treasure. They train it, they feed it with positivity, discipline, vision. Because once the mind is set right, the body follows, the actions follow, and the results follow. Winners also understand that success isn't just about them. This might surprise you, but the strongest winners think beyond themselves. They know their wins create opportunities for others. Their mindset isn't stuck on me. It's on growth, impact, legacy. That's why when a true winner walks into the room, people feel it. It's not just ego or flash, it's presence, it's energy, it's purpose. They're not just playing to survive. They're playing to build something bigger than themselves. And here's the thing, that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because they've conditioned their mind to think about contribution, not just consumption. Losers want to take, winners want to give. And ironically, the more they give, the more they win. Now let's clear something up. Having a winner's mindset doesn't mean life suddenly gets easy. The problems don't disappear. What changes is how you handle them. While most people panic, shut down, or give up, winners stay calm, focused, and strategic. They don't waste energy on drama, on overthinking, on asking, why me? Instead, they go straight into what's the solution. That's the mental discipline that keeps them ahead. It's not about avoiding storms. It's about learning how to walk through them without losing your ground. That's why winners look unshakable. Because they've trained their mind to see every storm as temporary, every obstacle as an opportunity, and every challenge as proof they're still in the game. And here's the final message. Winners are not special people. They're ordinary people who made extraordinary choices. They chose discipline over excuses, responsibility over blame, patience over instant gratification. They chose to show up when it was boring, when it was hard, when nobody was clapping for them. That's the essence of the winner's mindset. And you can make that choice too. Today, tomorrow, every day. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect moment. You don't even need to feel ready. You just need to start. Because once you start thinking and acting like a winner, your entire life begins to shift. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way opportunities find you, it all changes. Not overnight, but step by step, day by day, decision by decision. Until one day you wake up and realize you're not just thinking like a winner anymore. You've become one. And that's the point. Don't just dream about it. Live it, be it, own it. Because the mindset of a winner isn't a theory. It's a lifestyle.